Imagine a world where the very eyes meant to protect us, the cameras that watch our every move, suddenly blink, and someone is gone. Not just out of frame, not just lost in a crowd, but truly, inexplicably vanished. It's a thought that gnaws at the edges of our carefully constructed sense of security, a whisper that challenges the absolute truth of what we see, or rather, what we think we see. This isn't a tale of a grand conspiracy or a supernatural event, but a quiet, unsettling mystery that unfolded in the most mundane of settings, leaving behind only questions and a profound sense of unease about the limitations of our vigilance. It began, as so many profound shifts in understanding do, on an ordinary Tuesday morning. The city hummed with its usual relentless rhythm, a symphony of traffic, hurried footsteps, and the distant murmur of countless conversations. For Ilara Vance, it was just another day. A marketing executive in her late 20s, Ilara was known for her meticulous planning, her vibrant energy, and a punctuality that bordered on obsessive. She lived a life fully within the grid. Her digital footprint as clear and traceable as the path she walked each day from the bustling train station to her office in the city's financial district. The area itself was a testament to modern urban planning. Sleek glass towers reflecting the sky, meticulously paved walkways, and, crucially, an omnipresent network of surveillance cameras. These weren't hidden, obscure lenses. They were proudly displayed, integrated into lampposts, building facades, and overhead their unblinking eyes promising a blanket of safety, a digital guardian watching over every citizen. During peak hours, this particular stretch, a pedestrianized thoroughfare leading into a covered walkway that connected to a major office complex, was a river of humanity. Thousands flowed through it, a constant stream of individuals, all recorded, all accounted for, or so everyone believed. On that Tuesday, Ilara followed her usual routine. Security footage, later meticulously reviewed, frame by frame, showed her disembarking from the express train at 8:17 a.m. She walked with purpose, a slight smile playing on her lips, her auburn hair catching the morning light as she navigated the familiar route. She wore a bright crimson scarf, a vivid splash of color against her charcoal suit, making her easily identifiable, even amidst the swirling throng. Camera after camera picked her up, a seamless digital breadcrumb trail. From the station concourse, she moved into the main plaza, then turned left onto the pedestrian street, her figure clear and distinct. There was no hesitation in her step, no glance over her shoulder, no sign of distress or interaction with anyone unusual. She was simply Ilara, on her way to work. At precisely 8:26 a.m., the footage showed Ilara approaching the entrance to the covered walkway. This particular section was a transitional space, a short, slightly narrower corridor designed to funnel pedestrians from the open street into the main office lobby. It was well lit, but its architecture created a peculiar blind spot, a brief stretch of about 10 feet that, while theoretically covered by multiple cameras, was notoriously difficult to get a clear, continuous shot of. One camera, mounted high on the exterior wall, offered a wide-angle view of the entrance. Another, positioned just inside the corridor, was meant to capture individuals, exiting the blind spot, and entering the lobby area. Ilara entered the frame of the exterior camera, her crimson scarf still vibrant. She took 3 steps into the walkway, her silhouette momentarily obscured by a larger man in a dark coat walking in the opposite direction. For a fraction of a second, she was partially hidden. Then, she re-emerged, taking another 2 steps, her figure clear, still walking with that confident stride. And then, at 8:26 and 14 seconds, she reached the edge of the blind spot. The next frame, 8:26 and 15 seconds, showed an empty space where Ilara should have been. The internal camera, positioned to capture the continuous flow into the lobby, recorded the stream of people emerging from that same blind spot. Dozens of faces passed through its lens in the subsequent minutes, but Ilara Vance was not among them. She simply wasn't there. The alarm wasn't raised immediately. Ilara's colleagues, accustomed to her meticulous nature, found her absence unusual, but initially assumed a minor delay. It was only when she failed to respond to calls and messages, and her morning meetings remained unattended, that a more serious concern began to set in. Her family was contacted, and when they confirmed she hadn't returned home or made any contact, the police were called. The investigation began, as all modern investigations do, with the footage. Hours were spent poring over every second, every pixel, by a team of highly trained analysts. They expected to find a glitch, a skip, perhaps a brief struggle hidden in plain sight. They anticipated discovering a hidden alleyway, a side door, or a swift, professional abduction, but they found nothing of the sort. The footage was chillingly clear. No signs of coercion, no struggle, no unusual individuals trailing her. One moment, Elara was there, a vibrant splash of crimson in a monochrome world. The next, she was simply gone. The external camera showed her entering the blind spot. The internal camera showed everyone, *else's*, emerging from it. Elara Vance was the missing piece. The investigators quickly focused on the blind spot itself. It was a well-known architectural quirk, a consequence of camera angles and building geometry, but never before had it been implicated in a disappearance. They meticulously mapped the area, confirming that there were no hidden exits, no ventilation shafts large enough for a person, no secret passages. It was a solid, enclosed corridor. What truly baffled them were the surrounding cameras. The high-density network was supposed to be Elara's ultimate safeguard. There were cameras on the opposite side of the street, cameras looking down from the office towers, cameras covering the entire plaza. Yet, not a single one picked her up, deviating from her path. Nor did they show her leaving the area from any other direction. It was as if she had simply ceased to exist within that 10-foot stretch. Adding to the inexplicable nature of the event was a bizarre, almost unbelievable coincidence. Several of the neighboring cameras, particularly those that might have offered an oblique view into the blind spot, EXPERIENCED, what the technical team called frame loss, a momentary, split-second interruption in their recording. It wasn't a complete system failure, nor was it a widespread outage. It was localized, affecting only a handful of cameras, and each instance of frame loss was incredibly brief, lasting no more than 1 to 2 seconds. Crucially, these isolated instances of frame loss occurred within a 30-second window surrounding Elara's disappearance. The probability of such a specific, localized, and perfectly timed series of technical hiccups was statistically astronomical. Yet there was no evidence of external tampering or malicious interference with the camera systems themselves. The data logs were clean. The digital timestamps were verified. It was an anomaly that defied explanation. The investigation expanded. Every person who was in the vicinity of the blind spot at 8:26 a.m. was identified and interviewed. Hundreds of witnesses, caught on various cameras, were tracked down. Yet, not a single person could definitively recall seeing Elara Vance at the precise moment she entered the blind spot. They remembered the general flow of traffic, the usual morning rush. But the crimson scarf, so vivid on camera, seemed to have left no impression on human memory at that critical second. It was as if, for the witnesses, Elara had already faded from their conscious perception, even before she faded from the camera's view. Without a body, without a crime scene, without any physical clues whatsoever, the case reached a dead end. There was no evidence of foul play, no trace of a struggle, no ransom demands, no motive. Elara Vance's bank accounts remained untouched. Her digital life, so meticulously recorded, simply stopped at 8:26 a.m. and 14 seconds. The official conclusion was, inevitably, unsatisfying. An unsolved missing person case, devoid of any actionable leads. The camera footage, the very bedrock of the investigation, was real. Elara Vance genuinely disappeared from the camera sequence, but the central, agonizing question remained. How many seconds were truly not recorded? Or, more profoundly, did the cameras, even in their meticulous, unblinking vigilance, reflect the entire reality of that Tuesday morning? The mystery of Elara Vance became a chilling urban legend, a whispered tale among those who worked in the city. It wasn't just about a missing person. It was about the unsettling realization that our most advanced systems are digitalized that promise absolute security and an objective record of truth can sometimes simply miss it. They can miss the crucial seconds, the impossible events, the moments when reality itself seems to bend, leaving us with perfect footage of an imperfect, incomplete truth. It left us all wondering, if even the cameras can blink, if even they can fail to capture the full picture, then what level of safety do we truly possess? And what other truths, both comforting and terrifying, are constantly slipping through the unrecorded gaps of our perceived reality? Subscribe to make sure you don't miss future uploads.